I don't understand how we ended up invading a country.
Hey, can I call you Joe?
Few people know more about leadership debates than Professor Alan Schroeder.
This agreement is not about the goals for America.
50 years after Kennedy clashed with Nixon, the first TV debate, there are lessons from history.
If Kitty Dukakis were raped
of the Soviet Union behind the Iron Curtain.
Debates are one of the only potentially spontaneous moments in a modern election campaign. So for candidates, it's extremely risky. They don't like doing this. They try to minimize the risk with a lot of rules that protect them. But in the final analysis, it's live TV, and there's not much you can do about it.
Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda are setting up base camps.
In the 2008 debates between Obama and McCain, one of the things that was commented on was McCain's unwillingness to look at Obama, to make any kind of eye contact with him. Now, it was an indication of some disdain on his part. At least that's how a lot of the audience perceived it. And it really worked against McCain. It really backfired on him.
I would like to see Mr. Ford convince the Polish Americans.
The audience is looking for some moments of honesty, and they're looking for this one opportunity where the choreography stops. Well, there were two presidential debates in 1984. In the first, Reagan had turned in a very poor, uncharacteristically poor performance, where he seemed to be meandering and doddering. And afterward, there was a lot of comment about whether he was fit to be president, whether he was too old or was losing his mind. So he comes back in the second debate.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
And it isn't just that Reagan was able to get off the laugh, but he takes this sort of drink of water, his kind of victory lap, and you see Walter Mondale on camera laughing, and the audience is laughing as well. And after that debate, no one ever raised that issue again of his age.
But there are moments some candidates would rather forget.
In 1988, the vice presidential candidate Dan Quayle was a little-known, inexperienced senator from Indiana. Quayle, very stupidly, compared himself to John F. Kennedy.
I have as much experience in the Congress as Jack Kennedy did when he sought the presidency.
And that gave rise to one of the classic debate moments.
I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Poor Dan Quayle, I swear the day the man dies, that will be the lead on his obituary. A lot of what we're getting are the nonverbal cues. We're getting these little visual insights. This is the only three-way presidential debate in American history, and Clinton was really good at this. And Clinton was good at it for one reason, because he practiced.
This is not mudslinging, this is fact slinging.
He was so emotive and so much about responding to them that he almost looked like he wanted to jump in and be in their midst.
Now, you're paying for that.
Everything visual is incredibly important here, even the inadvertent things. President Bush sitting on the stool, looking down at his watch. He gives the impression that he was bored out of his mind, that he'd rather be anywhere else but this debate. And in fact, later he said that that was accurate.
The Republican nominee and the Democratic.
It's unscripted. There's nothing else like it on TV, and it's one of those rare occasions where you actually get to tap into the psychology of the candidates a little bit in addition to their politics.